Maranges is the last appellation within the Côte de Beaune and is connected to 3 different villages. Dezise-les-Maranges, a perched village, Sampigny-les-Maranges, and Cheilly-les-Maranges, which are both located on the valley floor. The appellation produces both red and white wines, though whites are a rare sight as they comprise only 8% of the production. It is approximately 22 kilometers southwest of Beaune and about 3 kilometers west of Fontenay, its closest AOC neighbor. The climate has oceanic influences, which are moderated by continental or southern influences due to the Rhone-Saône axis. The region's oceanic character is reflected in its annual precipitation of around 750 millimeters per year. It is an area that does not normally suffer much from drought. On its south side lies the Cossagne River, which towards the east joins the Dune, a 71-kilometer river that crosses much of the Côte de Beaune and Côte Chalonnaise. Despite being at the southern end of the Côte de Beaune, in a temperate year, the weather can remain fairly moderate, with an average temperature of around 10.5 degrees Celsius. The Maranges appellation is comprised of around 230 hectares, which is 1/3 smaller than Fontenay and slightly larger than Volnay. However, only around 192 hectares are planted. There are 7 climats that have been classified as premier cru, and each of the 3 villages has a portion of them. The vineyards within the Maranges appellation are a bit different to many of the other villages in the Côte de Beaune in that they do not follow a north to south alignment, but rather turn towards the west. This gives an exposition that is more or less south and southwest facing, moving progressively towards the west around the hamlet of Bourgogne. This exposition ensures good exposure for the grapes. Unlike some areas where the topography is complex, Maranges vineyards are more or less in one continuous block. The altitudes, however, can vary. At the southeastern border of Cheilly, the village-level vineyards hover around 240 meters in altitude and are more or less flat. The altitude remains fairly constant in Sampigny in these village-level vineyards. Since Dezise is a perched village, it is natural that the village-level vineyards in this area are higher. They range from 300 meters to just under 400 meters at the top. The main slope itself, which includes the climat classified as premier cru, is one of the steepest within the Côte de Beaune and quickly ascends. The top of both Les Clos Rousseau as well as Le Clos des Loyères lie at around 300 meters, while the top of La Foussière reaches up to 400 meters at the tree line and is Maranges' highest vineyard. It is also its steepest with an incline of 29% at the top. Maranges has a unique and complex geological structure. Perhaps the most important is the impressive fault line that goes straight through the village of Dezise. This fault divides the slope into very different soil types and ages. The western section, around the hamlet of Bourgogne, is mainly composed of gypsum-rich Triassic sandstone and clays, with granite at the base of the slope. Triassic is an older soil age dating back to 200 to 250 million years ago and is older than the Jurassic, which ranges from 145 to 200 million years ago. Maranges is the only village vineyard area in the Côte d'Or to have this soil age. However, one can find Triassic soils more readily in some areas of the Côte Chalonnaise, like Montagny. These vineyards to the west of Diziz are categorized as village level within the Maranges appellation. Due to the Triassic soils, these wines can be distinctive from other Côte de Beaune wines and often exhibit saline and iodine notes in both their Pinot Noirs and Chardonnays. The eastern section of the slope, where the Premier Cru climats are located, has more complex soils. They are composed primarily of marls from the Lower Jurassic epoch. The Lower Jurassic is also known as the Liassic period and dates back to 175 to 200 million years ago. It is when the Jurassic epoch actually began, so it is also quite old. Towards the top of the slope, including La Foussière Premier Cru et Le Croix Moine Premier Cru, there is blue-black marl. In the mid-slope areas of the Premier Crus, the marls become a bit more complex and also include gray-blue marl and conceivably some giant oyster fossils called Graphea, or more colloquially, the devil's toenail. These top and mid slopes also have limestone scree. Scree are loose stones that cover a slope and are usually created from erosion. The scree comes from a layer of Bajocian crinoidal limestone, which is located at the top of the slope above and within the upper areas of La Foussière Premier Cru. Due to the shallow, stony nature of this upper soil, this is one of the areas where Chardonnay is traditionally planted. The thicknesses of scree on the marls can vary from 0 to a few meters deep. This scree increases drainage, and hence the more scree, the greater potential for higher quality grapes. The core of the slope is also interspersed with multiple limestone banks. In the lower areas of the Premier Crus, which include the climat Le Clos des Rois, the soils change yet again. This zone is rich with Graphea fossils and sedimentary deposits. At the bottom of the slope, where the village level vineyards are located, the soils are generally heavier. The village area of Saint-Puny is also on Triassic clay, similar to parts of the Diziz village areas. These wines can also show saline touches. However, the soil is deeper here, so the wines can be richer, though still fine. The village area in Chély is composed of clay and gravel from the Dune Valley. The southern area has notable amounts of gravel. This is another traditional area for Chardonnay, and the wines can be quite fruity and round. As one moves north, the soil becomes much more clay dominant, so heavier and less well draining. As a result, the wines can be a bit more rustic and one-dimensional, but often have excellent ripeness. The Maranges vineyards are some of the most fascinating and complex in Bourgogne, with their diversity in soil age, type, and attributes, and its wines are well worth exploring.